Sometimes all you need in life is patience. Patient dog, they say, eat the fattest bone. On this movie, The Native Wife is actually a very beautiful movie packed with lots of life lessons. It's about a particular young lady called Ireti. Ireti is a naive girl. Okay, she has not been to the city before. And she has been waiting for her long-time boyfriend called Tony to visit her in the village after the last encounter that they had. Tony didn't show up, so she decided to visit Tony in Lagos. On getting there, she found Tony absent, but Chris, Tony's brother, opened the gate for her, welcomed her into Tony's home, and everything was cool. So according to Ireti, she asked Chris where Tony went to, and then Chris told her that Tony went for a business trip, that he will be back shortly. So Ireti was there waiting for her, only for Tony to return back with a beautiful young lady called Linda. Linda is not just pretty, Linda is very intelligent. Linda is a go-getter, and Linda will not settle for less. So when Linda saw what was going on, okay, because immediately they walked in, Chris went for a business trip with Linda. Immediately they walked in, Ireti hugged him and was like, "I missed you, I'm carrying your child," and announced to everyone that she is actually pregnant for Chris. Okay, Chris did not deny it, because of course they had an encounter. They had, they dated low-key, but then that was in the village. So according to Chris feels that Ireti is not his type. Okay, he was like, he can never marry Ireti. Ireti is too local. Ireti is just I think finished from primary 3 or what. Ireti is not classy at all. That he would want a very classy girl that he can comfortably showcase to the world. Take her around the house, take her around to her friends, to his friends, and just enjoy himself generally. Okay. But then Chris was not happy. Chris felt like, see, you don't treat people this way. This girl is actually pregnant for you, and I wouldn't allow you to humiliate her or make her lose the pregnancy. Because according to Chris, Tony was like, "No, please take the money and abort the pregnancy." But Ireti swore that she would never do that. Because Linda saw the way Tony was totally against the whole thing, Linda decided to stay, forgive Tony, and share the apartment with Ireti. But how far can this go on? So anytime Ireti is cooking, Linda is always complaining that the noise is too much, the smell of ogiri is too much. You guys understand, a classic girl versus a village girl. On this day, Ireti came and told Chris, "I want to talk to you." But then Chris declined. I was like, Tony, that she wants to talk to Tony. That's the baby daddy. Tony declined and told her that she is indispensable, indispensed out of that time. But meanwhile, Tony was still having the great time, amazing time with Linda. So anytime Tony goes to work, Linda and Ireti will always fight, always exchange words, and they will always quarrel. But then, even though Tony at a point has actually called Ireti and warned her not to cook, pound, or do all those things in the house because of the girlfriend, Ireti would never listen to them. On this day, she was sleeping and she fell asleep. Tony came back with the girlfriend Linda. They knocked heaven and earth, and before Ireti could open, they spent hours outside, and that was the problem. Tony still complained to Chris and told him that he is getting tired of this girl, even though that he wants her to leave, that he's tired and all that. But Chris still kept telling him that, see, this girl is pregnant, this is your first child, and that he should always accommodate Ireti. So on this day, the girlfriend, that's Linda, asked him some certain questions and asked him how he met Ireti. He opened up, and while they were talking to each other, Linda found out that true Tony really meant something. Like, Tony still feels something for this girl, even though he's pretending. So it kept going, and of course Linda felt like, see, it's better I become nice to this girl, because at a point Ireti was very sick, and Linda could women thing knew that this girl is passing through a lot, and she felt like, okay, let me just be with her and just maybe change or just leave this man, even though I love Tony for real. But she thinks at this point that Ireti deserves Tony because of her condition. But then Ireti will always decline and tell her that, see, you are here to kill me, leave me alone. On this day, she was terribly sick. If not for the help of Linda, she would have died. They sent for doctor, and doctor said that she's stressed emotionally, physically, and otherwise, and she has not been taking her pills. Doctor encouraged her to continue to take her pills, that she will be fine. Of course, at a point, Linda was like, see, it's better I leave. It's better. She thought to herself and told Tony, I love you, but I think you really feel something for this girl, Ireti. I can see the way you enjoy her meals, and I can see how happy you are around her. So even though Ireti and Linda weren't in good terms, but then they just found out that, this girl is pregnant, and that is what matters. So last, Ireti won, because Ireti had her man back. Tony will always make breakfast in bed for her. Tony apologized and told her that, see, from henceforth, it's going to be roses, flowers, and love. And then Tony registered her for antenatal to make sure that her baby and herself is safe. And Linda, on the other hand, called it a quit. She was like, Ireti, you're actually a nice girl, so let me just leave your man. They saw her off and that was it. Do check out the full video to find out what happened. To be very honest, I rate this movie 10 over 10. It's actually a very beautiful one, and you guys know that I share only interesting movie on this space. Do well by hitting the subscribe button to be part of this family, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.